All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and the Destiny 2 servers are absolutely fried. The baked potato at Bungie, that is the server, is just done. They left in the oven a little too long. And so we are going over the top 10 weapons from this season, Season 14, the top 10 god rolls. My predictions, obviously, it takes time to learn what is the meta, what are the strongest weapons, etc., especially after there's changes to perks and weapon archetypes and stuff like that. But given everything that I know beforehand and looking through the entire weapon arsenal on light.gg for about a few hours now, I'm going to give you my top 10 weapons to look for god rolls essentially throughout this season. So first up is Occluded Finality, an energy sniper rifle of 72, the highest archetype RPM. Auto loading and Vorpal is going to be insane on this. That's going to be a really nasty weapon for PvE. Auto loading Vorpal, you're going to do a fuck ton of damage with this. Will be a very strong weapon. Definitely worth chasing after and getting that roll. The Haze and Vengeance is a rocket you'll get from the Vault of Glass. Okay, you can get auto loading and lasting impression, or even better would be auto loading and Vorpal with this as well. Auto loading Vorpal is becoming a really common god roll because you can shoot the weapon, swap to the energy weapon you have, empty the clip with that, swap back to the power weapon. It tends to be really optimal DPS regardless of what encounter you're doing. So auto loading has become a really strong perk, and if a weapon can roll Vorpal, that's a solid damage boost, 15% across the board to bosses and vehicles and guardians and supers if in PvP if you really want to use it. It's not that common though. So there's that. Next up, those are the first two for PvE. Next up, we got Found Verdict. Will actually be almost comparable to the Fellwinter. The Fellwinter will have shot package, so keep that in mind. But there will be some perks to this that'll actually be really nasty. You can do your slide shot, opening shot. Frenzy might be okay. I'm not sure Frenzy procs consistently enough in PvP. So you might not want that. Killing Wind could be pretty nasty. Vorpal, you've got a few different options here. But this is the same archetype as the Fellwinter and the Astral. It's going to be in the energy slot though, so it's hard to say that this would be better than the Fellwinter's Lie. It'll be largely dependent upon how bad, how slow and sluggish the Fellwinter's feels. So it will have surplus on it though. Fellwinter's will and this weapon will. So they're very comparable. And obviously you can just buy Fellwinter's from the kiosk, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some rolls to this that are actually going to be worthy of using, especially because there's more perk options. So we'll see what happens with the Fellwinter's, but the Found Verdict is definitely one to keep your eye on. The No Composure is a fusion rifle that can roll with Reservoir Burst, and we know this is really strong from the past. But however, I'm not putting that in the top 10 because the Plug 1-1 is actually a precision frame. It's going to do more damage, and it can roll Reservoir Burst as well. So you're going to want to look for this. Obviously, everyone will have access to the other fusion that I just showed you, but this is going to be the one to chase after. This will be a much stronger one if you can get that roll on it. Next up, we have the Empty Vessel, this grenade launcher. It's going to be a big grenade launcher season, okay? Tons of grenade launcher stuff is going to be going on. You got your typical auto-loading Vorpal rolls you can get here. One for All might not even necessarily be bad for damage boost. Blinding grenades, spike nades. I mean, grenade launchers are going to be really strong this season, and getting a god roll of this thing will be nasty. I don't think there's any other grenade launcher in the game of the energy or kinetic kind, between obviously Fighting Line and then the energy slot ones, that can get Vorpal on it. So this will actually be really strong. The only exception to that is, of course, there's the grenade launcher that's I'm trying to think of what it is. Let me look this up real quick. The one that was the ritual one from last season is grenade launcher. Boom. And I'm talking about the Salvager Salvo. There we go. That Salvager Salvo will be very good and comparable to this weapon, but this will get some perks that the Salvager Salvo can't get, and will be definitely worth getting. Next up, we have the Grid Skipper, okay? A 540 RPM pulse rifle. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, pulse rifles really aren't that great right now, okay? I'm not getting clickbaited into this, but hear me out for a minute, all right? It's got tunnel vision, which is going to give you crazy aim assist and ADS speed. So that's going to be more for controller. And then it's got heating up, which gives you increases accuracy and stability and improving vertical recoil. So that's more mouse and keyboard. So those perks combined with something like multi-kill clip will be really nasty because you'll get one kill and then you'll just get an insane boost to stability, recoil, accuracy, and damage. This will actually be a really cool roll of a 540 RPM pulse rifle, and I think will be quite lethal and worth chasing for. The Grid Skipper is definitely one to keep an eye out for. Next up, we have the Rhiz Walker. So it's got this Iron Banner shotgun, and this archetype is the 80 archetype, which is not quite as strong as the Retold Tale, which would be the better archetype in my opinion. But obviously, Felwinter's and Astral's getting nerfed, so some people will resort to using these a little bit more. They fire a little bit faster, and the roll you can get on this would actually be crazy. You could get Quick Draw on this, which is removed from Astral and from Felwinter's, and you could get Iron Reach to get plus 20 range. That's crazy. That's going to be a really, really strong shotgun. Definitely worth getting. I mean, with the increase to range and quick draw, I mean, this could easily be the most powerful shotgun in the game. This could be the new Felwinter. This will pair really well with the Ignis Hammer because this is in the kinetic slot. A lot of people are going to love this. I personally, when Iron Banner comes out, I will be chasing specifically for this and for that role. I can already tell I want that. Next up, we have the Ignition Code, Legendary Kinetic Grenade Launcher. Again, Grenade Launcher season, there's going to be some really good rolls of this. You've got Vorpal on this bad boy. You can get Frenzy, One for All. There's going to be definitely some rolls worthy of using, and we're going to see a lot more grenade launchers and a lot more people chase after grenade launchers for PvE, especially more so than ever before. The PvP side, I don't think it'll be as big a deal, but Ignition Code seems interesting. Then the Fatebringer has come back, and it's really cool. They brought Firefly back, and it does solar damage, and it has Outlaw built into it. So that's actually really interesting to see. We'll see how strong that is at clearing ads. Explosive Payload, I believe, is bugged in the game right now, so that is like does an extra damage boost. So Explosive Payload Firefly will be insanely good. If that ever gets nerfed, we'll like to see what Rewind Rounds does, because it seems like it would almost be like a cracked out Subsistence. So really exciting to see the Fatebringer return, and it looks like it has some rolls that are definitely worth chasing after. Last up on the top 10 God rolled weapons to chase after in Season 14, my predictions would be the Hung Jury. Okay, Kinetic Scout Rifle, 180 RPM. You get that Firefly perk on it. Subsistence, this thing's going to be crazy, right? Subsistence just got buffed. This thing could be really, really good. The Adept version, some Adept mods on it. Definitely worth chasing after. I'm excited to see how good the Hung Jury is, Adept especially. And those are going to be my 10 predictions of the 10 weapons that are going to be the most sought after throughout this season. Of course, if any new weapons come out, we've got that to chase after as well. But looking through the API and all the weapons there are, these are definitely some ones that are worth chasing after. So best of luck to you out there. And if you get one of these to drop, make sure you take your time to evaluate the perks, because you might have a God roll right off the rip, and that would be pretty crazy. Some of you out there will have that good RNG. And if you do, tag me on Twitter with your God roll weapons, because I love to see them. So that's a wrap for this video, though. Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you enjoyed, and let me know which weapons on this entire list you're looking for the most from Season 14. I'm definitely interested in knowing, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.